The life sense, or the sense of vitality, is the most undefined and general sense in our sensory organization. It is unnoticed by many and unknown to the most of us. Have you ever heard of it? So why does it make sense to make it a sense? Let's take a look. Hi, and welcome to the Schmid Zone. I'm Matthew Schmid. Now, in the morning when someone asks you, how are you? How do you feel today? And you answer, you will report the latest findings of your life sense. Unless, of course, you say, I feel great, all around awesome. Then the life sense had nothing to report. Well, actually, that's not quite correct. It had nothing to warn you about. Because when you have that rare, exceptional, above average, ready to take on the world feeling, that is also brought to you by the sense of vitality. Through the life sense, we experience our constitution, how we feel in our whole human organism. Awake, tired, hungry, thirsty, faint, sick, anxious, depressed, or exhilarated. The overall status of our human well-being. With overall, I mean all our expressions, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Now, the life sense is a great monitor of all important life processes, and without its service, we would continuously suffer. We would suffer greatly, and we would even die. Now, the life sense lives deep in our organs through the autonomic nervous system. It is unnoticed most of the time, and that should be considered a good thing, because once the life sense makes itself known, there is usually something that needs your attention. The life sense seems to like an active lifestyle. Or should I say, the more active we are, the more the life sense quiets, moves, or retreats to the background. Being in the zone is the sweet spot of an activity or lifestyle, and athletes and artists know exactly what I'm talking about. Now, when in the zone, the life sense is very quiet. However, often if we calm down and literally quiet ourselves, the activity of our life sense generally intensifies and comes to the forefront. For example, when we lie in bed, all the little or even big issues that we have not noticed before come to our attention. The more you can live your ideals, the more the life sense can do its job. An interesting thing is that the life sense is developed quite differently in different people. Some people have a great ability to scan and monitor their constitution and know in detail everything that is or seems to be going on, while others have absolutely no clue what's happening. No ability to differentiate. Parents also know what I'm talking about. Kids, especially the younger ones, often complain about feeling discomfort, but can neither describe it nor place it, or even misplace it. Because just like the sense of touch, the life sense is not developed yet. Of course, the more differentiated your understanding of the human being is, the better you can help your life sense restore balance. Our overall psychological state of mind, how we are emotionally put together, plays a huge role, how intensely and correctly we perceive the activity of our life sense. People with abnormal health anxiety, for instance, fear and worry that every minor symptom or sign indicates something serious or even approaching death, and confuse and misinterpret the impressions and reports of the life sense. And so much so that they need to consult a doctor all the time to sort it out. The fact that we run to the doctor for every little irregularity today is proof of how little we understand and how little we trust our own sense of vitality. Now, how does this life sense actually communicate with us, report to us? Well, like I said, mostly unnoticed, unless our well-being is disturbed. And then it alerts us through the manifestation of discomfort, aches, all the way to severe pain. The life sense is in the real sense a warning system, and discomfort or pain is the alarm. And that makes the life sense a great teacher or mentor. Children, especially from earliest age on, benefit greatly from the tutoring of the life sense. As with touch, it is important to let the life sense do its job. Now, what is that job, you may ask? Or better, what do we take away from the life sense? We learn what is good for us and what is not, how much or how little something should be consumed, or how fast and strong and so on we should be doing something. We learn what and where our own personal limits are. And with each child, with each person, that is different. That's why children need to encounter hunger, thirst. They need to deal with exhaustion and tiredness, summon courage, develop perseverance, learn endurance, celebrate accomplishment. But they also need to suffer failure. And over and over and over again, and that at different ages and developmental stages, of course. This is quite literally a building up of resilience, of immunity, a strengthening of all immune systems, biological, emotional, and mental. Everything in today's consumer world is geared toward comfort and the elimination of any effort. Don't buy into that mindset or lifestyle, especially when it comes to raising children. That endangers the development of the vitality sense. Guide your children through all their physical and emotional aches, discomforts, and pains, yes. But let them have every single critical experience. Let the life sense communicate, restore balance and harmony. Now, when we parent lawnmower style, pamper our children, dote over them, prevent exposure, and immediately satisfy every need physically and emotionally, quite opposite to popular belief, we do our children a disservice because we rob them of this essential development to learn and understand their own boundaries and limits, and the life sense will be sort of underdeveloped and insecure. We severely hamper our children's sensory development. Essentially, all we exhibit is our own parental fear and insecurity. When the life sense can't do its job, when it has not been able to educate its host, then in later years, in high school, it cannot properly retreat into the background where it needs to live. In high school, when the real cognitive skills need to be developed, see the sense ladder, the life sense needs to move, step back, and give space and resources to the thinking, reasoning, and higher math. If the vitality sense is underdeveloped and insecure, it will constantly push itself to the forefront with its sense impressions, its reports, and completely overwhelm the teenager. Then we're looking at emerging anxiety and phobias, bad feeling about life, mental blocks, bulimia, hypochondria, and anorexia. But back to the life sense. Well, what does the life sense really warn us about? It warns us when we are off balance, when we deviate from our health, when something is not quite right. And that can be anything, really, from too much or too little food, sports, alcohol, drugs, an injury, headaches, or an oncoming illness, but also stress, strain, anxiety, and frustration. So the life sense monitors not only the physical, but also the emotional and the mental in us. Now, with pain, I mean any degree of notification from the life sense. From a little discomfort, like a pebble in a shoe, that darn label on the back of your collar, to a prick with a needle or a cut or a stub, all the way to extreme pain, notifying us of something that is out of whack and endangers our health. The life sense kicks in with its pain alarm, asking us to bring ourselves back into balance. What a guy, what a friend. The vitality sense with its pain is actually our best friend. So what we need to do is look into that relationship rather than blindly rushing to eliminate it. Now, one of the things is to experience and understand what is causing the pain. We need to learn to diagnose different expressions of pain, find the origin, and then work to restore balance. Just look at headaches and migraines. They can be caused by many different things. Twisted nerves, sleep disorders, sitting too much, coffee, change of temperature, menstrual cycles, alcohol, depression, stress, and anger you've been holding on to, lack of physical activity, or too much so. Now, we can change our ways. We can learn and grow only through the experience and analysis of this discomfort and pain. So clearly, pain doesn't just teach us about our physical self, but our heart, our soul, and creative self. Just look at painful emotional experiences in artistic wrestling. Now just think about the activity of learning itself. It's painful as in agonizing. Concentration, exertion, endurance, perseverance, restraint, patience, failure are painful activities leading to our inner maturity. So no pain, no gain is a truly wise cliche. And just as we have a differently developed life sense, we also have a very different relationship to pain. Like I said, pain is our great teacher, a great watchful friend, and there is no judgment here. So if the life sense is this great teacher, then on whose authority does he instruct? Meaning, who tells him what to do? Who's his boss or the principal? Well, I think it's us. I'm actually certain that it is our higher self or consciousness. That higher self that holds our life plan and purpose and reveals it to us as we learn and grow. Every one of us has a higher self watching over that struggling sort of lower self. We could not develop, realize our dreams and ideals if we would not have our life sense monitoring all layers of our being, body, soul, and spirit. So when we deviate from our purpose, when we turn away from our ideals, from our archetype, we experience pain. Through this pain, our life sense reminds us to listen and restore that balance and find our way back to our place and purpose. It's as simple as that. So clearly we live in a culture where this warning system, pain, is considered a terrible foe. Public enemy number one, and hundreds of billions of dollars annually are spent to eradicate it, to shut it down, physically but also emotionally. We are numbing ourselves, our life sense. While it is a modern blessing to have the ability to alleviate extreme pain, we again need to learn and listen to our life sense and embrace meaningful discomfort. Now, we need to at least befriend it, for it is our higher self who wants to tell us something and nudge us back into balance and onto our path. Pain gives us meaning. It gives us our human dignity. Empathy emerges from experiencing pain. Where pain is prevented and numbed, compassion cannot arise. Compassion is an expression of love. A person who has not suffered cannot empathize, cannot be there for others, cannot love. So the life sense, through this expression of pain, gives us the key to our higher self, our purpose, and the compassion and love for our fellow humans and the planet. Hey, thanks so much for watching The Life Sense and Sense of Vitality. Check out all the other cool content on the Schmidt Zone and n2k.world. And please share and let me know your thoughts. And don't forget to subscribe. I will see you next time when we talk about the sense of self-movement.